Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to another potato reading sprint. So, yes, we are back with Sarah again, and we have a special guest tonight, Sonia. Yes, do you want to introduce yourself, Sonia, or would Sarah like to introduce you? I don't know. What are you comfortable with?
Yeah, I'll introduce her. So
Okay.
This is Sonia. This is my best friend. It's going to be 4 years in June. We figured that out. We have it on our calendar.
We
so
are
that
calendar
matters.
girlies,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So we first connected during the pandemic over Twitter, and we just found we had a lot of similarities, even though we were living in different countries. And we met finally in 2022. And then Sonia's, this is her second time visiting in the US since last year. She's actually going to be leaving on Monday. So we're going to miss her. She's been adopted I don't know how many times by my family. So I'm excited to have her here. And the book that we chose to read is something that we're like, oh my gosh, this seems so cool. So we're excited to be here and reading together and being with our friend Christy.
Yes, I'm so happy that you guys were both able to make it tonight.
Yes.
I'm really happy also that I'm finally in everybody's time zone somehow.
Yes.
Because normally in Germany it's like now 2 a.m. So normally I can't even be here because I'm in bed.
Yeah, she can't.
Yes.
With the reading sprint. Yeah.
Yeah. The timing is rough to get it across all of our time zones.
Even it's mostly rough also with you, Christy, because you are even farther.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I don't even are you at any time awake? I am awake.
Pretty much not.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. We have lots of friends here. So Faye and Catherine and
Hi,
Essie,
Katie.
Lauren.
Yes. Hello, Dream in the Garden. That sounds so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that name and the picture. It's
Yes.
good vibes.
It brings back The Secret Garden, which that's a classic.
Yes. Have you read that?
That theme? The Secret Gardens?
It was something with a garden.
So, okay, now you've whetted all of our appetites. Do you want to show us what you guys are reading tonight?
Dum, dum, dum. We are presenting to you The Scarlet Alchemist. Yes, and it's by Kylie Lee Barker, and she is a Japanese, Chinese, and Irish author. So we're excited to read her work. Yeah, so it's kind of like dark fantasy, I think. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yes, I am very excited to hear all of your thoughts as you're reading that, because it's now on my TBR too, thanks to you guys. I'm still working on this beast. I'm still
What is that?
This is The History of the Russian Revolution by Leon Trotsky.
You got something heavy.
Yeah. I was reading this last time we met too to read.
Yeah.
So it's taking me a long time. So hopefully when I finish that, I will move on to something fun, and I find this very fun, but it's heavy reading. It's like PhD level reading, But yeah, let us know what everybody in the chat is reading tonight. Yes. We always get so many recommendations from you guys.
There's a car blaring in the background. I don't know if you hear that. Is it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Very faintly, though.
Okay,
it's not very loud.
If it's bothering, we will gladly mute until it's taken care of.
It doesn't bother me at all. If someone in the chat is like, let us know. But I think it's pretty soft. It's not very loud.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. So do you guys know, is this a friend of yours?
Yes! Xenia.
Yeah.
That's our baby sister.
Yeah.
We all met around the same time, actually.
Yeah,
and then
like 2 months later, we met
girl,
her.
what you doing awake? We love you, but what are you doing awake?
Because she lives in Germany too.
As well, yeah.
So it's like 2 a.m. for her. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
We are your parents. Go to bed.
You are hardcore. Oh man. I need to see what the time difference is to the UK too, because sometimes we have a UK person who shows up.
It's 1 hour ahead of us, of Germany.
Okay. So
is that 7 hours ahead of me?
No, it should be.
Are they behind her?
No, like it's 1 hour later for them when I'm in Germany.
Okay, so that means they're
3.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 9 hours for Christy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's our world clock on our phone, so we can know what time it is.
That is really smart. That's actually a really good idea.
Oh, it's normal. It's 8 hours.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought they're an hour ahead of us.
Oh, so they're maybe.
Wow. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
They're behind. Okay. Thank you, Rich. Okay. Well,
Rich is one of my co-hosts for another read along I'm doing. Oh, sorry. Did I interrupt you guys? Were you saying something?
Oh no. We're looking it up. It's always Yeah.
Yeah, it's behind. For them, it's now 1 a.m.
Okay, so she's going to move to the UK so she can be a little
Yeah.
So
you can move to Germany first of all. Christy can move too.
We'll all move.
Yes.
We'll all move.
Who's coming with us?
Move closer together. I mean, like
we are making it into Germany, not into soup. I live near a lake. We could rent a house.
We could.
Do you live near a lake, you said?
Yes, it's really beautiful.
So it would be like in the soup?
So you can see, like, she has a balcony view, and so you can see the lake, and there's boats and everything there, and people walking around it.
Yeah.
It's really a great view.
Yeah, so you can move.
Yes.
Immigration law will love you.
Oh, okay. Wow. So thank you, Rich. I think Rich has to do these kinds of calculations for his job. He does a lot of meetings. So that makes sense why you would know, Rich.
We appreciate what you do. Okay.
Yes, we do. We appreciate you, Rich. And Rich is reading the final part of Well of Ascension, which is a Brandon Sanderson novel.
Okay. I always write down all of the...
I would definitely recommend it. It's super good. That's like the second book, though. The first book is The Final Empire. And then this is the second book that he's in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I most of the time just read high fantasy, and more likely that I read dark high fantasy.
Ooh. Very Jenny tastes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So I didn't explain what the meaning of our live stream is. So Sarah and I started these live streams in honor of our beautiful friend Jenny, Jennifer Brooks, who probably a lot of you know. And we just love her so much, and we miss her a lot. She passed away in January. And so this is a memorial to her that we're doing monthly, so we can kind of gather together and think of her and do something that she really enjoyed, which is reading sprints. Yes. And frequently we'll be reading books that we're inspired to read because of Jenny as well, which this was supposed to be a buddy read I was doing with Jenny. So and that, speaking of which, Sarah-Esther, did you finish
Damien?
Yeah, Damien, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I think after 2 DNFs, that might tell you that it's not really for you.
No, I have to get through it. I have to do it. I have to do it. I will. I'm determined.
Good night, Oxy. Sleep well.
Good night. Thanks for joining us briefly.
She's powerless.
Okay. Ooh. I need to look this up. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Lauren Roberts.
Powerless. It was so funny. I was just hauling a romantasy for my library job. And then after I finished filming that, I turned on a YouTube video by Rachel Catherine, and she started talking about that book. It's like,
oh wow,
it's about like a witch and a witch hunter who end up falling in love, and it's like an enemies to lovers romance. I was like,
oh wait, I need to. What was that called? I need to write it down.
Yes, let me. What is the title again?
I love enemies to lovers.
I know, it's a fun trope. Usually the dialogue is like really great. Okay. That one was Heartless Hunter by Kristen, and then I don't know how you pronounce her last name, but it's Ciccarelli. And I'll put it in the comments here.
Ciccarelli. You probably pronounce it Ciccarelli.
Ciccarelli?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds right. It's better than what I said in the video, which was
Only a Czech name.
Oh.
Something out of the Balkan.
Thank you for the help.
Voxer, I'm just like...
If I pronounce anything, it usually comes out sounding vaguely Korean or Spanish. Definitely not. That would not be right for this name. Yes, enemies to lovers all the way. Penny's here. Hi, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Welcome.
Ooh, rereading Dune.
Ooh.
I know someone in this chat that likes Dune a lot. Right?
Oh, yes.
Actually likes Dune a lot. Ooh. I don't know if it's because of Dune or Timothée Chalamet.
So Dune the movie. is it Dune the movie or
I don't know. I don't know if he likes.
What's the influence?
What? Actually, are you still awake? We need to know.
Have you read the book, or
is
it just
Timothy,
the movie,
or is it the story?
Oh, look! Apparently, you can just borrow one.
Yes.
Do you guys know Catherine too?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh!
She is one of my Kim sisters. Love her all the way.
I love it.
Oxy is like, Belle. Okay.
It's the Timothy.
It's the Timothy part of it. Okay. I never actually saw Dune or read it. I don't even know what it is about.
It is
sandworms.
It's fantasy and space exploration.
Yeah, it's
like
it's set on another planet.
Politics.
Yeah, very political.
Very there's the this, not the, how would you call it, the chosen one trope, but it's fun in a different way, because is he really the chosen one, or are they making him to be the chosen one? That's kind of what
it's a good description.
Yeah.
I think that's a good description.
Yeah.
Hi, Mimi from Spain.
Hello. Hi. It's good to see you, Mimi.
Okay, I have to look into Dune.
I love the movies.
Okay, love the movie. I haven't seen the second one, and my son he loves it. And I'm like, okay, okay.
Something about like a hot, sandy atmosphere in a book is like very attractive to me. I remember Jenny and I talking about that too. She loved anything set in Egypt, you know.
Yeah, there are also some fantasy books that like have like desert scenes when they are very good, because like most of the time it gives character development when they are in the desert, and that's probably what it is. That's why I get sometimes so upset with movies to books when they don't do that scene right. Like I have a specific movie that I'm thinking about, and it's Aragon. Like when you read that book, the desert thing is so important to Aragon, and then in the movie it's like 30 seconds of the movie, and I'm like, but the movie is in general bad.
Yeah,
like. But
Oh,
it
we
seems
have
like Dune is making better job with book to movie than Aragon did.
Yeah, it seems no, because what happened is this Dune is like the second telling of the book. So
Okay.
they saw what they tried to do. Was it the 80s where the first Dune book came out, and they tried to fit everything, I think, in one movie, from what I remember. And it wasn't, and also with all of the special effects that they needed, it wasn't working. So what they're doing now, and also like splitting it into several movies, gave them more room to like build the world. And, building, I could go on about that. I love world building.
Yes. Yeah, you're both fantasy readers.
Yeah, but like the difference between me and Sarah is that I indulge more into dark fantasy. Like I enjoy to read very dark fantasy, and that's like not everybody's taste. Like I don't know if anybody knows it. The dwarves from Marcus Heights, or even the children of Judas. It's about vampires, or I just know the German title, Die Legenden der Albe. It's also from Marcus Heights, and they are very dark fantasy, very dystopian. And what I like about the Legende der Albe is that it's telling the enemy story, and they make you dislike the character so much that you want to see them not succeed, and you read further because you want him to not be able to do what he want to do. Yeah,
it's like hate reading it.
Yeah, it's literally like, and they do it. He does it so well that it even like the dwarves even was internationally successful, even though Marcus Heights is a German author. Like it was a huge success, and he does it so well that it's really interesting in a way. He brings a lot of emotions out of you, and it's not like it's just an enemy and you hate him. It's just you really don't. You really need. You're still curious, and you find yourself in the end understanding the enemy, and that's the weirdest part of it.
Like I get it,
because you start to like him.
Yes, yeah.
Like, why? I don't like him.
Well,
that takes some talent to like make somebody feel a certain way and then change how they feel about that.
Yeah, and that's something that's so interesting about him, because every time I read a book from him, he's able to do that. He first makes me hate the main character and then like it, because normally when I don't like a main character, I don't like them. But he's just turning it. And that's talent.
Thanks for coming, Mimi. If you need to go and sleep, we understand.
Yeah.
We started latish tonight for you, especially for you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
We have a live show tomorrow to talk about through chapter 15 of this.
Oh, wow.
So, and I'm only in I'm almost to 13, so I'm behind. But okay, we have a debate going on in the comment section. Have you guys been following the debate?
I can't really read it. Yeah.
Okay, so I think it started with Faye saying Dune is whatever genre Star Wars is, that they're very similar. And Penny had earlier said it's sci-fi but not space opera, which I think is interesting because I feel like, isn't Star Wars space opera?
Yeah,
I can say I only saw the first movie of Star Wars. I have no clue what Star Wars is. And
not a Star Wars.
Don't kick me out of the village. I never had interest in Star Wars, and it's even debatable what is the first movie. I mean the movie with Anakin and Padme, the story how he became Darth Vader, basically.
Yeah.
But I was so bored that I never saw it again, so I have no idea about Star Wars.
Yeah, I would say I feel like there's some good points happening here.
Yes, it's like, oh, I'm like
No,
following the play-by-play.
not so plot driven. Yeah, I feel like if you're looking for the energy of Star Wars when watching Dune, or because I haven't read it, but and I would really also like to read the Star Wars books because I haven't read those either. But
Oh yeah.
I feel like how can I say it? The action of Dune, or from like the movie perspective, is more like the world building of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
You're focusing on like this is moving and this person is moving here and they're doing it because of this, and this is what like Tolkien put so much into building that world, and Dune does that as well.
Yeah.
Versus like, I feel there's a lot of explanation in Star Wars, but it is also like really kind of more like action driven.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dune has a lot more of storytelling, I believe. But yeah.
But also world building is so important, and a lot of authors forget that, or they either do one thing, they either forget it or they do it too much. Because there is too much world building when you get excessive. And like, okay, I know the grass is green. Okay, I get it. You don't have to give me the Pantone color board, please. But like, if it goes too integrated, you're like get lost in the details.
Yeah.
And like, some authors just completely ignore the world building and like, okay, we are somewhere, and I have actually no clue in what situation they are.
Yeah.
So I can't really empathize with the character, because if I do something, there is no like reasoning.
Yeah. There's the difference, I think, in literature between like setting a scene and like setting a scene and then world building. World building, you're taking us out of a world that this world that we know and putting us somewhere different, and like you have to create the rules for us and like let us see it in your way. But with setting, it can be like London, in 1368.
Yeah.
There's still world building there, but it's not so foreign to us versus like just having regular setting versus, complete world building. So it's really interesting.
Yes. Yeah. There's a really funny thing that my friend Victoria posted on Instagram the other day about Tolkien versus Lewis, because with Tolkien, he's like, I'm going to give you the 400-year history of this sword or whatever. Yeah. And Lewis is like, I'm just going to throw a naiad going to war with St. Nicholas and spins the wheel. We're going to throw in a minotaur, Yeah. So, yeah.
And there's 4 kids from England.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I am not trying to create drama. I just
wow. So
it seemed like there were some opposite.
Christy, the next thing you know, you're like the enemy on Book Talk. And about you
over Dune.
Yeah.
I was there.
Somebody's like, crop this. Share about it. Okay.
But isn't like Star Wars and Star Trek have a fight with each other? The fans don't like each other?
Yeah. I think they have debates. I'm not like huge into either, but I actually enjoyed Star Trek more than Star Wars. So.
I never watched anything. So I'm Switzerland.
Yes.
I know nothing about all of you, okay?
Neutral.
I fall asleep to both, so
yeah. Because also with Star Trek, are we talking about the 2000s movies like series, or are we talking about like where are we? Are we talking about the movies? Are we talking about the shows? But we're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, we should probably like read.
Yeah, we
read.
Yeah,
that's the very Switzerland thing to do here. It's time to read. All right. How long of a sprint do you guys want to do tonight?
I think we can start maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes. That sounds like a good plan.
1-5.
Yes. Okay, so we will go.
Bye.
Bye.
Go to bed. Don't watch TikToks.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Okay, so 27 plus 15. Oh my goodness. That would
Math.
be
Isn't it
42,
lovely? Math.
I guess.
Mm.
Okay, we'll try that.
Okay.
Okay.
42.
42.
Great.
Yes. Fighting.
Oh.
Welcome back. How did you guys do?
I'm finishing the sentence.
Okay.
Okay, yes, yeah. I already like it.
Yeah. Yay! Did you both start it just now?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Do you actually talk about the books? Or
yeah, you can talk about it. I mean, you probably haven't read far enough to spoil anything, so.
No, I the thing what I wanted to say is that I already see that I like how she builds the main character. Because a lot of authors don't know how to build. It doesn't matter if it's a female or a male author. They don't know how to build women who are like actually likable for women, because she has some wittiness to her and some humor, and it's not like dummy humor, and I love that.
Oh, that's exciting.
And she's dark. It's
She's what?
dark.
Dark.
It is dark. Oh, okay. Now, what do you think, Sarah-Esther?
Yeah, I like it already. The prologue was beautiful.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness, I need to know what this means later on. And yeah, I already like first chapter. I like the main character. She has a balance of setting, scene, and dialogue. And also, sometimes either in movies or in books, they explain so much, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
don't give me everything. But yeah, it's going good so far, and I'm getting excited. I'm really getting excited.
Yeah, she has a really good way of explaining her surroundings and what the character is thinking, how the character is, and letting room for the story to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. It sounds like it was really balanced then. And
Yeah.
you're liking the main character.
Yeah.
Of course, that could change, but
yes, we've only read for 15 minutes, so
Yeah.
we'll have to keep going and see.
It was short. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Mimi. I know. Depends on what you're reading. If you're reading a dark romantasy, 15 minutes is probably enough for you to get into the story.
Yeah.
For me, I read about how it's interesting because at this point in the Russian Revolution where I'm reading, the first revolution, the February Revolution, has already happened, but the revolutionaries gave the power back to basically the same people who'd already been in power. They took it away from the Tsar. That's basically all that the revolution did. And now the revolutionary powers are like vying with the people who are still in power and kind of don't want the revolution to win. And they're sort of going back and forth on who has the power in this situation. So it's interesting to see the power struggle between them, because the revolution wants, like they're wanting communist type, they want communal type, like living situations where everybody has the same amount of food to eat, and everybody's owning the property, not their own, but it's like communal properties and stuff. And the government is wanting to protect the landowners, and they do not want they're basically like, yeah, really, it's a really interesting time, because the October Revolution, between February and October, that's when this power struggle is happening. And then in October is when it will become more like the Soviet Union that we end up seeing. That's where the revolution actually takes control. So it's an interesting period that I wasn't even really aware of before reading this book. So it's really interesting. Faye read a chapter. The violin conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
That sounds interesting. I'm looking that up. How did everybody else do?
Okay.
Other men are strong like bricks. You are strong like the wind. That's a great line.
Oh, wow.
That's from the Well of Ascension, Rich?
That's an interesting, because wow, the wind can shift and move around things.
Yeah.
It can be very soft, and then it can be the greatest destructing force,
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, like, in a different level, a brick is breakable, a wind not.
Yes. That's so true. A brick can become like
Almost, yeah.
brittle.
Yeah. And the wind never.
The wind doesn't. Yeah.
Can't.
That's a really good point. Yes, I am one. Rich was the king of quotes in all of the read-alongs that we've done together. He will always put these great quotes.
Wow. Thank you, Rich. I like that.
I know.
Now I have to be like,
I know. 4 chapters, Catherine.
Wow.
That is very impressive.
That's fast.
Yeah, that was really fast.
Yeah, please. But I have the benefit of a doubt. I read it in English, and that's my second language. So
yes,
you're
doing great.
Yeah, we're actually around the same pace. So
I'm always so impressed by your English, Sonia, because I'm trying to learn Korean, but like speaking is the thing I'm worst at. I can do okay. I can get along with reading. Speaking, though.
I always feel like I'm not that good in English.
You are so good at
and
English.
that you really hear that I'm from a different country. As that girl said, I have a very thick accent.
One thing I will say, there's nothing wrong with having an accent. It doesn't mean you haven't learned a language.
Yeah.
2, Sonia has, and I think a lot of it has come from, we talked a lot in our, during the pandemic, we didn't have much to do, like you work from home. So like we would have long conversations with each other. And so we had a lot of time to have dialogue and like, if there was something off, it'd be like, hey, okay, usually we say this instead of this. But now we could take her to any town in America. She could find a hotel. She could order food.
Yeah.
She could take care of herself. She could read signs.
Yeah.
She could read GPS. I can't say that I could do that everywhere. Okay.
No.
So I'm like, if you can survive in a foreign country, like where you understand the language enough where you could get the basic human needs, I think you're good.
Yeah.
It was also like, I was always not like, I can't say I'm very fast in learning languages because I grew up with 2 languages and I really enjoy that. But it got a lot better when I talked with Sarah because it was everyday items we talked about and didn't just learn specifically words or had to translate something that is like something else than really speaking about your daily life and using daily words. Like when you talk about it with your friend and you want to explain what today happened and what you did, and because you want them to be part of your life, So you learn to your way around it. And also we were always like, I was always like, okay, if I write something wrong or say something wrong, please say it to me. And I was never never mad about criticism or like correction. Yeah. And that helped me a lot. Like just her like putting an asterisk where, okay, that word was wrong or wrongly written, or I better use something else. Like she understood, especially the or thing. You remember when I started, because in Germany you say, or the German word for or and the end of a sentence, and here you say right when you want an agreement.
Yeah.
And that was something that was like I was not aware of because I just literally translated German to English,
So I think the best thing to do is if you want to learn a language, have a conversation with someone who's willing, like who really wants to have conversations with you versus like, oh, let's practice going to the supermarket, just where you guys are like instead of you guys, like the both of you or whoever you're speaking with are just talking about life. And that's where you learn more. Because it's the same thing happened for my mom. She She was, a French speaker first, and then she wanted to learn Spanish, and she got the basics, but actually going and speaking with other people, that's how she was able to.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to keep a straight face.
Hypoparathyroidism.
Yeah. Thanks, Rich. I can't pronounce it.
Hypoparathyroidism.
Hypoparathyroidism, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we in Germany have long words.
Long words for...
Because we in Germany like to, how do I say that?
They like to explain everything as much as possible.
Yeah,
word.
Words are most of the time just the thing, literal thing.
They're compound upon compound words.
Yeah.
The compound word is compounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we are very literal when we about words.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you see a TV is a television or anything in Germany, it's fancier. It's basically see far.
Oh.
Or far
okay.
see, because you're seeing from something from far away.
Right.
We are very, very literal about things.
See, English is such a weird language because we pulled from so many other languages that I'm tutoring someone right now who is a native Spanish speaker, and she didn't even go to school in Mexico, but she hasn't gone to school here either. And sometimes the questions she has, where she's like, it's really good points that she makes all the time, and I'm like, I know it. It makes no sense, but this is how it is.
You want to know something very funny, something basic and funny? An airplane is like Flugzeug. It's basically things that fly.
Things that fly.
Things that fly. A flying thing. It's basically a flying thing.
UFO.
People are like, that's it.
Whatever that thing is,
it's a
thing that flies.
Yeah, it's a thing that flies,
I love that.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I've had some who are also learning English, and they were like, oh, why do you say why do you use or in this, or why instead of this, or either versus that? And I'm like, man, you're really trying to make me break down American English grammar?
But German grammar is another.
I don't get it either.
Yeah, I was like, I can't help you. What is that? What is that?
What is this?
What is that?
Wörterbuch. Hä? There's something wrong. Wörterbuch in der Müllpresse.
What is that?
It's a dictionary in the garbage press. It's a garbage press for dictionary.
Oh, so wait, it's something that presses old dictionaries into garbage?
It could also be, yeah.
Wow. Imagine that.
I didn't know that was a thing. Wow.
It is yeah.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Also, if you go into books, how do you call it if you put a book incomplete, if you're crafting a book, how you call that?
Like book pressing, or
no, if you bind a book.
Book binding.
Book binding. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's in German it's Buchbinden. It's basically book wrapping.
Okay.
We just like to have it literal, and we like if you ever think about how to pronounce something in German, if you see something okay, that could be these two things together, just say the two words, and it's probably that.
Boom.
Probably everybody understands you.
Boom.
That is so helpful.
Yeah.
Korean is like that too. You can just take a noun and add haba to the end of it, and it becomes a verb.
It's Christy, a lighter is Feuerzeug. It's a thing that makes fire. a fire thing. Like Flugzeug, it's a fly thing. And a glider is a fire thing.
Mm.
That is so great. So much easier. It makes me think about the interview during the Wings tour where Namjoon was talking about their struggle with Americas saying no, and they mean yes. Yeah, I know it. It's so different in Korean.
Oh my gosh, my mom had issues with that. Like, do you? She had an issue with like, do you mind if we go here? And she's like, yes, I do mind.
Yeah.
Like that's what she. And it's like, no, you mean that you mean like, no, you don't mind.
And which, yeah, of course, I know you made it up, because, but like it was so realistically that it could be a word. I wouldn't be surprised. Wörterbuch in der Müllpresse, because it's actually a sentence and not a word. But I don't think a lot of Germans would catch that. We would be like, okay, yeah,
it's a word.
It's a word. It's a word.
So true. Yeah. It's confusing. Okay, no is used like an interjection. Oh, that's interesting. That would be very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. I feel like I missed a couple comments, but how do you guys feel about reading again?
Yeah.
All right. How long do you want to go this time?
I think we can do. Is 30 too much? Or I think we can do 30. And
I'm down.
Everyone is free. You don't have to sit there. If you need to move around and go do something, you have the space
No,
to do
we keep you hostage.
Your hands on the book. Focus.
I see you all. And I
Stare at
see
the drill sergeant.
Someone looked away.
Yeah, someone stopped reading that line. I see that.
Go back.
Go back. Go back.
Let's see. Yeah. 59. So we can easily make it until.
Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. We'll just go from 0 to 30.
Yeah.
Yay, easy math.
Aren't we math geniuses?
Yeah, that is not me. Oh. In German, a compound noun only has nouns. Wow. I do not know the grammar here, but
like just don't even try with German grammar. Even Germans don't know German grammar. So, like the word in German is 5 different words.
So
no, just read.
Just read. Yeah. Okay. See you guys soon. Fighting. Welcome back. How did you guys do?
Wow.
Did you get a lot done?
I'm last page of the third chapter.
Nice.
You were in the fourth chapter already. Right?
Page 2 of chapter 5.
Nice.
How did that happen?
The scene got really intense, and I ran into it.
I'm behind one chapter.
It's okay.
I'm trying my best.
I believe in you.
You guys are both reading faster than me. Don't even worry. And English is my native language. So, what are you guys thinking about it?
So, I'm really liking her writing. And her characters, like
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt her.
Yeah, I was gonna say her. The main character has 2 cousins that she's close with, and they are hilarious. The banter between them is real family banter.
Yeah. I wanted to say that it's not so comedical, but it's like over the top, and you're like, okay, it's written like that, because I could actually imagine cousins being like that to each other.
Yeah,
it's like realistically fantasy. It's fun.
Yeah, and yeah, the chapter 4 is very intense into the alchemy and what she does, and whoa. Yeah, that whole experience. She writes so beautifully, but yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes from here. I have high hopes.
Yeah, it sounds like it's about to go down, Sonia.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, take your time with that one. I was like,
she ran through that. She turned page and did
it. Yeah.
What are you thinking of it, Sonia?
I like it. I like how she writes them, that I can be in the scene and can understand them and can feel them. That's sometimes I'm very picky about my characters. I'm like, why are you doing that? I don't get it. Just, and I'm like, okay, they are smart, and I like when people write smart women. And like they're I just generally like her character building. And she's not throwing us into characters. She also built the relationship between the cousins slowly. She didn't say, oh, we were best friends and whatever.
Yeah.
She built the scenery around it and made it sense that they are how they are to each other. And also, main character makes sense why she is how she is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Internally coherent and consistent.
She also but she also is not over explaining.
Yeah. And she's a smart woman with that, she's witty, she's intelligent without being like, I'm not like other girls.
And also she's like, what these people do is realistically, and they're not being, just 1% of anything. Like, they're not highly smart and doing all this, getting away with all the stuff when you think you wouldn't get away with when you are in front of a king or a higher noble person with that. And we're really, it really makes sense. It's just the thing what and I like that. I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I'm getting so curious about it. I really want to pick it up.
And even though it is kind of a superpower what she has, but don't make it a superpower where she can defeat everything.
There's a cost.
There's a cost. There's always a price to pay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm wanting to learn more about what is that cost or price for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still plugging away at chapter 12, but I'm getting really close to the end. What I ended up doing was writing another discussion question for our discussion tomorrow, because I was so inspired by what I was reading. I was like, we have to talk about this. So I wrote another discussion question, and I have to take notes on it. Otherwise, I don't tend to understand it unless I'm like taking notes. So I took notes on the section that I read last time and then made a discussion question out of it and ate my dinner while I was doing that. So that's what. So yeah, it was really fun. This is going well.
Hey, that's good.
And so Mimi had this question right before we went to the last break. And so I couldn't remember for a minute how to explain this very well. But so ne, which can sound like there, it just depends, it depends on sometimes the words coming before it or the speaker, whether it sounds more like an N or a D. But usually the differences come into play because ne means I agree. It doesn't necessarily mean what our word for yes means. It means I agree. So if someone says, you don't really like that, do you? You wouldn't say 아니요 in Korean. You would say ne because you agree with the statement, I don't like that thing. So that's where some of the confusion comes into play, is because it means I agree, not yes. I think the literal yes would be yeah. They have that word as well. So I think yeah might be more like our yes, whereas ne is more like I agree. If that's confusing, I understand.
No, that's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
One day I'll get there. One day.
I will never get there.
I know. I had to drop out of Bangtan Academy, but I kind of want to go back in. But at the same time, I'm intimidated because they have like certain rules where you have to follow certain rules. It's a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm still enjoying my studying though. So, Penny and Rich had to go. So, yes. Good night, all you East Coasters who have gone to bed, or people in Germany who've gone to bed.
How dare we? How dare?
I know.
We are not vampires. We sleep.
Yes. I know. We're not vampires or Korean. Koreans.
We are not at Hypen, okay?
Yes, we are not at Yes, they are. So I do not understand their lore, but I'm so interested. Are they vampires?
They are.
They are.
They are vampires.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're more than vampires.
They're vampires, but they also have each one of them has powers as well with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's time traveling and like reincarnation in there. There is a Wattpad and a webtoon, that the Dark Moon, the Blood Altar, that explains both. I've only read the webtoon, finished the webtoon. I haven't gotten to the Wattpad yet, so that's what I want to do because it should add more detail. And
I'm reading the manga.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I hid it from.
Oh yeah. Wait. She's gonna get it from the closet.
Yes, I must see it. A manhwa. So are manhwas generally colored illustrations?
Yes. Yeah, that's the difference between that.
manga.
Yeah, manga.
That is so cool. I just heard that the other day and I was like, if that's true, that's crazy. That's so cool.
Bring it.
My tailbone.
Yes. And you might find volume 1 at your local Target.
Because volume 2 is never to be found.
Yeah, I'll find it somewhere else. But that is volume 1.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
The sticker annoys me, but if I pull it off, it's gonna ruin the manhwa. So
Yeah,
we have whole I'm annoyed videos dedicated to that topic on YouTube.
Yeah.
Stop putting stickers on my books.
Especially the front cover, please.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it is colored manga basically.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, wait, can I show something? So with and Hypen, Hype has another group that is N Team. So N Team are the werewolves, and so it's the werewolves versus vampires.
It's Twilight and better.
Yes, and so it's fun.
And they're not sparkling.
They're not. Oh.
No sparkling here. Oh,
Because canonically, vampires are not sparkling.
It's
I
true.
don't know. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying
I
to.
thought it was cute, but I get it. Vampires are supposed to be scary, not sparkly.
We have werewolves.
Yeah, but they don't have the specific scene that I was looking for. But yeah, it's really interesting. Oh yeah, so these characters are from N Team, so they are the werewolves they are direct rivals.
Oh my gosh.
Versus Team
And
Edward.
fans like to make a fan war out of it.
Yeah, so but it's really interesting.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they started this, and yeah, it just adds to the lore. It's really great. Yeah,
That is super fun.
and
It's actually vampires versus werewolves.
Yeah, and after seeing Hypen live a couple of weeks ago, it was really fun, like to see how, and for those of you who don't know, we met through K-pop. I don't think we explained that. We were like, yeah, we met on Twitter, but we met because we liked a lot of the same groups, and then we actually, for the first time, got to go to a K-pop concert together.
Yeah, because like her being in the US and me being in Germany,
it's not like we're like, yeah,
yay! I'm just gonna take a 10-hour flight for a concert. Yay!
Yeah.
So it was nice to go there
so
and like to see like the mixture of like literature that we're reading, the music that they're putting together, they themselves as humans who went through so much to become the artists that they are today. So like all of those things come together when you're at the concert. And so that was a great, it was great because you have literature, you have music, you have artistry and all that. It was it's really fun.
It's like K-pop is kind of the complete package of artistry, music.
Yeah. What I think someone said, it might have been Sugar, that it wasn't, that K-pop isn't really a genre, because they use different genres of music to tell stories, but like some of you might not know, they use artwork. If you watch Misamo, which is a subgroup of a large group called Twice, they actually do retellings of famous artwork, and then they'll be inspired like by Demian, for the what is the series? The Wings series, and they take psychology and different things. So it's, it's a little highbrow sometimes. Not everything's highbrow. Like Dynamite is not highbrow, but
also Jimin literally having a German poem written on his body.
First Set Me Free. A beautiful poem. Very beautiful.
Yes.
He grew up reading.
Yeah.
And so she was like, pause, wait. I
know that. I learned that at school,
Yeah, so it's really fun. Like, I enjoy the things that are not always highbrow, but I do like knowing that many of my interests in the arts are expressed in I don't know what the word to call K-pop, because it's really not a genre. It's an expression. That's what I'll say. An expression of so many art. An expression of history and culture. Yes.
Yes.
You're welcome.
There's a great quote. There was a book that I just read about K-pop that actually quoted RM. They quoted Namjoon. He said, K-pop includes videos, clothes, choreography, social media. It's the total arts package.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. The total arts package. Yes.
That made me happy that they quoted him. Yes. So hopefully you all are still here.
Everyone's falling asleep.
Yeah. As we talk about something totally unrelated to, not totally unrelated, but not specifically reading. That is really neat.
And she's self-taught.
Wow.
She's self-taught. And because she's been in this since, oh my gosh, I don't know if it like the mid 2000s. So like back when things were like low resolution, no translation from anyone. So
Wow.
she was literally self-taught when it comes to Korean, Katie's sister. And yeah, so she can understand this, like the songs and everything on a deeper level. And I'm like, a little
Wow.
you know.
So basically, how I learned English through fan subbing Japanese animes.
Yeah.
Because actually, Christy, how
Yeah. Okay. I feel like a good friend because I felt like the year was 2009. I'm so proud of myself right now, guys. Like, you know, when you remember something about a friend and you're like,
I'm not sure.
I'm proud, but I'm proud. I'm proud.
Like,
yes. Okay.
like I remember, like, I don't know, Christy, if you know that, but when I was like a teenager, like literal child, like 12, 13, 14 years old, I was and I'm still a huge anime fan. And I was really deep in the fandom that I started to fan sub animes that are that are just in English and not in whether we did it like that. They waited for the fan sub or for the sub of the Japanese anime into English, and then I would translate the English fan sub into German. So that's how I learned most of my English, because of course you can do but because back then Google Translate didn't exist, I literally sat there with a dictionary and went through it and was searching up words left and right, and with my school English. And sometimes there was also no other choice but just watching animes in English, because there was no like fans up for German or anything.
Yeah.
So
It's so amazing how
it
That
has
is
to make you
learn
language,
so much
yeah.
and open up, like language opens doors.
Yeah.
And art, you know, art has no language because you can feel things and understand things with not necessarily needing the language, but when you have an understanding of context and everything like that, it just means so much more.
You know what I sometimes enjoyed doing? Watching animes with like when they were in English and I was still back then didn't understood English very well. I liked to still watch them because getting the clues of what's happening and taking the artistry in. Of course, with every anime is an artistry work. Some of them is like for us trash TV, but how they convey still the message when you don't understand the language is interesting. And that's also most of the time with K-pop with me. No, I don't always have the lyrics on, but they convey emotion and their art without me having to know their language, and that's something impressive.
Yes.
Like we're not talking about Dynamite. We are talking like about.
We okay, some of us still love Dynamite.
I hate Dynamite.
I love Dynamite because of what it meant to me during the pandemic. It's not the greatest BTS song and people can trash on it, but it does hold meaning to those of us who needed a spark of hope, no matter how many times they heard it.
To my defense, I hate Dynamite because I work in a grocery store.
I would say hate is a very strong word. She dislikes it. She's heard it many times.
Like, I worked in a grocery store and every 15 minutes Dynamite was playing. And I'm over it.
She strongly dislikes, I'm going to say that, for my own heart and soul. Okay.
But it's interesting because like people in the US who aren't necessarily K-pop fans, a lot of them love Dynamite. They'll be like, I don't really listen to K-pop, but I like Dynamite. So it worked. Playing it on the radio every 15 minutes worked here.
But if you work 9 hours, 10 hours, and you have every 15 minutes that song blaring at you. And when you come home and go onto TikTok, that song is blaring at you. When you go on YouTube, that song is blaring on. No.
Yeah.
I refuse. I refuse to this day to listen to it.
But I get it's almost like people who work in retail and they hear "All I Want for Christmas."
Oh my no. No. I'm so happy that so happy that we are just allowed to have covers of that song in our store because I would go crazy. Like last Christmas I gave you my what? I giving you a I no. Just no. It makes me not enjoy Christmas anymore.
Oh, another intense thing to say.
But in general, if you work in a grocery store, you learn
Yeah, no, Kevin hates the radio too because he worked in a grocery store.
Yeah.
He
the
hates the radio.
Christmas stops to be Christmas,
Yeah, you just see the commercial side of it.
The
So many
Christmas,
times.
it's gonna be PTSD.
Okay, Faye.
Okay.
Good job, Faye.
Good job.
Yeah.
Oh man. So that's like pretty close to what you read, Sarah-Esther, as well. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Do we want to do another sprint, or is it getting too late for you guys?
I'm a night owl, so maybe we can check with everyone else that's on the chat because we did start a bit later. So I'm just gonna say I'm a night owl, so I'm okay. Yeah, go ahead. I can.
All right. Let us know in the chat if you guys want to do another. We could do like a shorter sprint, maybe, since we started later. Let us know what you think. I am personally down for a shorter sprint, so I'm going to just put it up there and you guys can let me know if that's cool. So it's 6. Also, fun fact, my computer went to sleep earlier and I was really afraid that I was going to be dropped off the stream, but I turned it back on and I was still on the stream. So, whew, that was scary, but okay. So it's 53. Why don't we go 55 through maybe 10, if that's okay with everyone? We can do that. All right, fighting! Welcome back. How did you guys do? You can keep reading. It's fine.
One moment. Okay. I just finished chapter 4.
Yes.
That was intense.
That was intense.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what to say more, as that was intense.
You guys are making me so curious. How does the magic system work?
It's alchemy. It is with, you have to give an offering to get something back. Like, you have to have specific stones and specific things for specific kind of alchemy or magic.
Mm.
Like, for like crushing something, or like making something appear, making something from spoiled to good, or so you need different spells,
Yeah.
and different offerings. Like the more the thing have to do, the more the offering is, and the harder it is to get that thing. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, yes, I do. For every work of magic, there is an equal price.
I don't know if it's actually equal.
Yeah, that's what we're still figuring out.
Out, yeah, because like what she's doing, the equal price would be that now the book would be finished and we would have no main character anymore. But it is kind of, she gets away with it because she gives more offering than just herself. As to explain that. Like, it's not just stones, it can be people too.
Okay. Wow.
That's where the dark part comes in.
I'm gonna be very eager to hear what you guys end up thinking by the end of this.
Yeah.
If it pulls it all off really well.
I really like, because dark fantasy tends to turn really brutal, and it isn't as brutal, but it's still dark. It gives you an itchy feeling on your skin without you turning away in disgust. But you're still disgusted, you know what I mean? Like, it's a,
yeah.
I don't know how it's going to turn out later, but as of now, it's the right amount and the appropriated amount. You know what I mean? Like, it's not overindulging into violence or anything. It's the appropriate amount of violence, or like of darkness, to say better.
And Faye has finished 2 more chapters, and she knows who done it now. So things are picking up in Faye's book as well. You've read so many chapters tonight, Faye. Wow, I'm so impressed. And Sarah, what are you thinking of them? Where are you now?
Yeah, because I'm right now in chapter 6, and I'm it's not, I feel like some people have a better job of predicting where a story can go, and they're like, oh, it's going to be this or that. I really don't know where she's going with this, and where not in a bad place, but where she can take it. It has, there are a lot of open opportunities for where she can take this, and she writes family so well. I really enjoy that, and I also love it when authors take a piece of themselves and put it in the book. So she does talk about how because she, like I said, I introduced before, she's Japanese, Chinese, and Irish, and so her the main character is, she's European, and she might be Irish, because Gaelic, I think Gaelic is now that I'm thinking about it, she's obviously Chinese and possibly Irish, and so how people just see her as that,
Maybe
and
just a link.
yeah,
They have some Slavic
yeah.
Maybe,
But Gaelic is, I'm pretty sure Gaelic has to do with like Ireland, and but yeah. So that's like that. The identity of the main character is, could possibly be a part of her and how she's viewed in the world. But yeah, I'm really impressed so far of what I'm reading. Um, she she's very good at pacing, very good at pacing the story, and bringing balance. So I'm really, like, I think I've said it before, I'm really excited of where she can take this. Yeah.
Are you guys going to continue reading after we're done?
Is Irish, Scottish, Irish.
Yeah.
But like, what I agree with you. Like, I have a pretty, how do you say that? How do you say that? I have a pretty good idea where that story is going, and I have a pretty good idea of what is going to end up happening. But it doesn't make me less excited. It makes me, because I just am I'm well known in dark fantasy, and I know where most of the time they're going with. But in that case, I'm excited for her how she packages it. And I'm not upset that I have maybe an idea. She can totally surprise me, and there's going to be a plot twist. But even though if it would turn out how I think it's going to turn out, I'm just very excited how she's coming to that point, because it's always like that. If you're reading a romance, you know there's going to be romance, and you know that the girl will end up with the guy or anyway. But you're always excited how the way is there, and I think that's something very important in reading, because people say, "Oh, if I know the ending, I don't have to know it or read it or anything." Like, no.
Yeah, romance is different, especially.
Actually, the way there is way more interesting than the end.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of genre fiction, I mean, there could be surprises along the way, but a lot of times you kind of have an idea of how it's going to end, and that doesn't bother you. You're excited for it, You're like, this is what I want, So yeah, I totally get. So that's interesting, because you have more of an idea of where it's going, whereas Sarah's like, I'm just along for the ride. I don't know where we're going.
There's obviously going to be a love interest, and there's obviously going to be a major character death. Like, there will be a price to pay. Those things are definite, but it's like she was saying, it's how are we going to get there?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing also, like, I read the book I read before that, the Silver Flame. Wait, how was it called? That one.
Ooh,
that's Song of Silver, Flame Like Night.
Wow, that's a great cover too.
Yeah.
Did you like that one?
I like it. I want to make a point with that book. The point of that book is,
don't give too many spoilers. Because
I'm not giving any stories. You already know what I'm going to say. I don't like how the book ends. I don't like that. And I was very upset after that. But it didn't make the book bad, because the way to it in the book itself is good. And she has a second book, and I think it will start with the second book. But that's the thing. The ending, it doesn't matter so much, in my opinion, if I had a good way to it. And it's also just me being mad over main character. But
it was still a good story. Still
a good book.
No complaints.
Somebody else might not have my opinion.
Yeah.
But like, with the ending is bad, it's not necessarily bad. It's just not it's a little bit written like if the characters learn something and then you are like, okay, you finally learned it, and then we're doing the exact opposite again.
Yeah,
What they
that's
learned.
That's what. Yeah.
And without making any spoilers, that's what upset me. And
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean it's a bad ending. It's just I was like, we went that whole way. All the way. And now, but
Yeah.
to be on the other side, it's very realistic because people don't work like that when they
Yeah.
learn something
People
once.
don't always learn.
Yeah, it's very when they're human. You're like, dang it, they're human.
Yes.
And like
Realistically, I do the same thing.
it's not bad, but it's upsetting.
Yeah, you're like,
But when you think
Yeah.
about it,
you're like,
man.
yeah, it makes.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but
Not always fun to read, but
you need to read that book. It's not dark, not that dark. Like that is darker. That book.
It's definitely darker.
That book is definitely darker than that other.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great job, Katie.
Well, yeah,
Woo,
go
good
Cadbury.
job.
Yeah.
78%.
Switching books, yeah. Sometimes.
But
you
she switched books. Yeah.
Yeah, switch it up. Switch it up.
I
I
can't
was
do that. I can
deeply
only read one book at a time. Sorry I interrupted you, Christy.
No,
Sorry.
that's yeah, I admire people who read one book at a time. I wish I was like you.
No, because I keep things confused. Like in anime too, I once watched 6 animes at the same time because I was
Ooh.
fan subbing them, and then you
Dang.
automatically sometimes watch them too.
Mm.
And I got characters confused all the way. And then I stopped, and now one thing at a time.
I bet. I thought sometimes it would be really fun if I could get good enough at Korean that I could fan sub ATEEZ's lives. I would really love to do that, but I don't know if I'll ever be good enough at Korean to do that without actually like living in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
We'll see. We believe
We'll
in
see.
you.
I believe
We'll
in
see
you.
10 years down the line if I'm able to do it.
Of course, yeah. We believe in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And how was your read, Christy? How's it going?
So good. I still haven't finished the chapter, but I'm gonna sit here until I finish it and I'm gonna read it.
Yes.
Because it's so good. It's really difficult reading, but let's see, what was I reading? Oh yeah. So the workers are demanding an 8-hour day right now because after the revolution they were like, we want to see some changes, for the better. So they're demanding an 8-hour workday, but the people who are technically in charge of the government are like not willing to give in to that demand. And they're like, we're going to start work again on this day. And the workers are like, not unless you give us an 8-hour day. So yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to cause some more revolutionary friction.
Sparks.
But the next, sparks. But like the revolution doesn't take off again until October. So I'm like, what are we doing in between March and October?
Like, Christy, what actually is funny, I know actually a lot about the Soviet Union because I have a family member, my father, who was was born in the Soviet Union. Like, because Romania was part of it, of the Soviet Union. And he was born at a time around when all that fell, basically. Like, not fell, but was there. Because my father was born in 1954. And it's when you think about it, it's not that far. When you really think about that. 1954 is not that far. I don't actually know when the Soviet Union was. Do you know that? Does it in the book when the Soviet Union?
When was it? 1917 is the year when the revolution changed from a dictatorship of the the Tsar into a communist dictatorship, and then it was somewhere in the 90s, like 91 or something. When it fell.
That's the thing because my father was born and my father grew up. It was in full on blast. the Soviet Union, especially because they claimed all the Slavic countries and also Romania. So it's actually, I know a lot about these kind of struggles and things because I know it from my father. And actually, my father actually escaped dictatorship. So he walked from Romania to Germany, and he knows how it is to run away from the communists or the red people. And that's like, it's a very interesting insight. And it's like how the Soviet Union worked and how they um, were very placative and how it really was, how people really lived there, and how like people really they because sometimes they painted as it was such a nice thing. Communism is such a nice thing. Okay, but we are also humans, and we all know it's not gonna work. And how my father and his sister and his family suffered under communism because we basically didn't even have food. Like we had to wait in line once a week to maybe get meat. If you don't have your own pig, you never had meat, basically. So the first generation of vegans. But it is like very interesting to it's an interesting thing to probably how what knowledge you get from reading that and what knowledge I have from like firsthand people.
Yeah. I need to pick your brain about this. We need to work out another time to talk.
You can. Like, it's like it's horrifying how we're depicted sometimes in a good because some books are depicting in a good light. It depends what you read and how it really was.
Leon Trotsky, he was a leader in the movement, but then he was kicked out by, I think it was Lenin. Lenin that kicked him out, I think. I haven't gotten there yet. So he, at this point where I'm reading, he's not even there yet because he had been exiled from Russia already. So, but he comes back in does he come back in May of 1917? And then I think he's kicked out again within like the year. So he's positive about the revolution, but like he has deep criticisms about it because he wasn't actually that involved, you know? So, yeah. So it's interesting to read from his perspective, but he's viewing it more as like, I'm a historian writing it all down because he's not an eyewitness. So, yeah.
So he gathered it from other people who were experiencing it firsthand.
Yes.
And it always depends.
Because he obviously knows Russian. So he just gathered everything. Like he was reading diaries of people who were in leadership at the time. And he quotes from their diaries like all the time. And he'll quote people who were labor leaders on the streets and stuff like that. So he has a lot of sources. So, yeah. But he wasn't actually there, which is fascinating. But he's definitely like... He's very pro-revolution, you can tell. You know, the way he writes about it, he's like excited about it. And I'm here kind of like, boy, people were losing their lives and their property. And it was it's like, it is exciting to read about, but it's also kind of horrifying, you know, to read about. So, but conditions weren't good in Russia. That's why they were rebelling. So they needed a change, but I don't know if it went the right way for Russia. Seems like it was kind of disastrous.
The thing is also perspective when you see how Russians write of it and how people who were part of the Soviet Union wrote of it.
Right of it, yeah.
Because my father is Romanian, and Russia basically invaded them and took everything away from them.
Right.
So that's the other perspective on it. But that's something to go way too deeper. I think we have to have that conversation after you read that book and everything.
Yes, after I finish it, we can have that.
My father was under Ceausescu. I don't know if you know him. The name says something. Ceausescu.
No, I don't.
It's the Romanian dictator. And like when my father's first attempt to flee, he got caught, and when he flew again, and when he was like not allowed to be back in Romania and had a death sentence on him.
Whoa.
So,
I'm
like,
gonna look him up right now on Britannica.
because he was like one of the what the Soviet under the Soviet leaders, because he was a dictator in the country of Romania, because Russia couldn't control everything because they need a man there. Yeah. So it's actually a very interesting time and how it all fell out. That
Yes.
like Yugoslavia fell out when in multiple countries when they had their revolution and everything. It's so much history right on my doorstep, basically.
Yes.
And people forget it so fast, and it's not that far away.
I
Like,
know. Yeah. Oh man.
but you can always write me in. I'm always like, I like history. I had an A in history. I love history.
Really? Okay, we're gonna have to discuss this.
Yeah.
Well, I actually need to get going, but this was really wonderful. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight.
Yeah.
And thank you all in the comments.
Sadly, I will be not here next time.
I know. It'll be too
So this is a special episode.
Yeah. The
Yes.
might win the next time when I come.
Yes, or the next time it's when Sarah is in Germany. If you guys ever are available, we can maybe arrange. We can see if we can find a time when you guys are together to do this again.
But I plan actually to come this year again, so we find a way.
Yes, you're coming back this year?
If it works out. If it works out.
Okay.
Like, I'm free. I'm a free. I can just take vacation. But she has here a whole thing.
Yes, a whole life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like also I like it's also sometimes complicated because you have to look at each other's vacations, and when I'm allowed to take vacation, then here in America is Thanksgiving. That is a hard time to have a guest over. December for grocery stores is bad to take vacation. So
Yes,
but
we'll have to see if we can work it out again because this was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. Oh, there's my husband. He's like,
oh yeah. Good night.
Yes.
Everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yes.